Hello. This Tuesday morning. Wow. Apparently, the clock ran out. The clock has run out as of today, this morning. Hundreds of thousands of Haitians who have been living and working in the United States under TPS, the temporary protected status, reached the end of that protection at midnight last night. Think about that for a second. Yesterday, they woke up with permission to live here and work here. So today, many of those people woke up wondering what happens to them next. Can they keep their jobs? Can they stay in their homes? Will ICE come look for them? How quickly could they be deported? Those aren't political talking points, right? Those are the real questions that Haitian families are asking this morning. Now, before this conversation turns into that Republican versus Democrat bullshit, I want us to slow down and understand exactly what happened. TPS was never supposed to be a green card. It was never supposed to make citizens of these people. It was designed to be temporary protection for people whose home countries were considered too dangerous or too unstable for them to return. So the Trump administration argued that the temporary status should actually mean temporary and not keeping on prolonging these people being here. After a long legal fight, the courts cleared the way for the Haitians' TPS designation to end, and that ended last night at midnight. So today is not just another immigration day headline. Today is the day the policy becomes real for the Haitians. Okay, now check this out. This is where most of the Haitian immigrants live in the United States. This is the bulk of them. Okay, they mostly live in Florida. As you can see, that's the darkest ring. They live in Florida and New York. That is primarily where they live. I mean, there's a lot in Georgia, there's in Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, but primarily in Florida and New York, right? So this is where they are. Behind these headlines, these people have jobs, working jobs, raising families, right? Raising families, paying rent, paying taxes, attending school, church, little league, and trying to build a life here. All of that came to an end last night at midnight. Some Americans are saying the law is the law. If it was temporary, then eventually it has to end. Of course, I get that. Others are saying, how do you tell somebody who's been here for 10 or 15 years that it's over? Especially when Haiti is still struggling with that violence and that craziness that's going down in Haiti. Everybody knows that Haiti is a war zone. Everybody knows that. So last night it ended for all of these Haitians. And they might have got other statuses. They might have got they might have became citizens. Who knows what happened? I want to ask the question that too many people want to avoid. What happens to these people now? What happens now? Not next year, not someday, this morning. Let's start with the basics because I think a lot of people are confused about it. I've seen people saying Trump has just deported all the Haitians. No, that's not what happened. I've seen other people saying nothing has changed. They can all stay. That's not true either. Here's what changed. For many years, Haitians in this country were living under that TPS. That status gave them permission to stay here legally. It gave them permission to work here legally. It protected them from being deported while the status remained in effect. Notice what I didn't say. I didn't say they became American citizens. I didn't say they received the green cards. I didn't say they were here permanently. TPS was exactly what it was named for, temporarily. Now, that temporary protection came to an end last night. And that's where the real question began. Because people here, they think ICE is going to be knocking on their door, showing up at the Haitian family vacation home, the Haitian family house, knocking on their door. And they very well may be. But that's not how immigration enforcement works. It doesn't mean every Haitian is automatically deported. It doesn't mean every Haitian has to leave tonight or today. And it doesn't mean every Haitian in America is even affected. Some people have already adjusted their legal status. Some have asylum. Some have family petitions. Some can get green cards. Some have become United States citizens. Those people are not in the same position. The people we're talking about are those whose legal right to remain in the country depended on TPS. And they're not the only group. There's plenty of groups in which their TPS is ending. Haitians just happen to have ended last night. That's the group that's facing the uncertainty, okay? And I want you to think about how strange this moment is. Yesterday, the paperwork said they were allowed to work here. Today, they're trying to figure out whether the employer is going to keep you. That employer may very well call immigration on you. Okay? You never know. Today, people are calling lawyers, family members, calling anybody who can tell them what comes next. Whether you support this decision or you oppose it, you have to admit that this is life-changing for a lot of people who have been born here. That's the thing. What do we do with the people who gave birth to people who are here? They said birthright citizenship is legal. So there might be some people who had children within the last 15, 20 years, or whenever it became a TPS situation for them. Those people may have had children. Those children had children, blah, 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 blah. Those people, do those people get to stay? Do those people get to stay because they had those children here on American soil? How does that work? That's the thing. How does all of that work? Okay. Children don't know if their parents are going to be here next year. Employers wondering whether they're about to lose all their experienced workers. And it's communities trying to figure out what the decision is going to look like in real time. That's why I don't think we should reduce this conversation to a bumper sticker. This is not just about politics. Today it became about people's lives. And these people are going to be in trouble. These people are definitely going to be in trouble. The ones who never thought to get status, okay? The ones who didn't get status, okay? And there's a lot of people who didn't get status who are going to have a problem. As TPS ends for Haitians, ICE operations are expected. Human rights don't expire. Okay, I get all of that. We get all of that. Okay? We get all of that. Okay? Now, let's talk about Haiti itself. Let's talk about Haiti. Because if you're going to end TPS, people are naturally going to ask one question. Why Haiti? Why now? This is not a country that most people would describe as stable. Turn on the news, you'll see reports of armed gangs controlling neighborhoods. You'll hear about kidnappings. You'll hear about political instability. You'll hear about families struggling just to get food, Medicare, water, basic needs. Even if the U.S. government has warned Americans against traveling to Haiti because of the security problems. So naturally, people are asking, if Haiti is still in the condition of instability, kidnappings, political warfare, gangs controlling the neighborhood, why are you ending TPP now? Now, here's where it's important to understand the administration's argument. The administration isn't saying Haiti has become a perfect country. They're saying something different about that. They're saying TPS was never meant to become a permanent immigration program. Their position is simple. If temporary protection keeps getting renewed over and over again, or even over decades, then it's really not temporary. The administration is saying at some point the temporary has to end, and that ends for Haiti today. Now, whether you agree with that or not is a different conversation, because critics have responded with another question: what do you expect people do? Okay, what do we expect them to do? Some of these families have been here for years. Children are American citizens. They have jobs, they have houses, they have businesses. Some have never known life since arriving here, other life. So critics have to ask, if you know these people have built lives here and you know Haiti is still facing enormous problems, should there have been another path for people who have followed the rules while they've been here? That's amnesty. Are we starting to give amnesty? Are we looking at a way for these people to get amnesty? Because this is not just about immigration anymore. It's about what happens when temporary protection lasts long enough that people build permanent lives around that TPS. And that's the question I don't think either party is fully ready to understand. Are you guys willing to give amnesty to some of these people? Now, they're arguing the law is the law, and other people say people are the people. Human rights don't expire. I get all that. And somewhere in the middle of these families, and it's somewhere in the middle of all this, are families who don't know what they're going to do tomorrow when they wake up and they don't, or today when they wake up and they don't have a home, really, because you're just wasting time. You're wasting time because you know once somebody, all these people have your name. The government has your name. The government has your name. It has your status. It has all of these things because you're a person that they allowed to come in here with TPS. So they know where you live. They know who you are. They have all of that stuff. So that's all they have to do is come and get you. That's the thing. You're living here on borrowed time. Okay. They eventually will come and get you if you don't have a certain permanent status. Okay. You have to forget the politics, the press conference, the Republican, Democrat. These people's lives have been changed or going to be changed. Imagine you've been in this country for years, paying taxes, school, mortgage, house, car payment. Your entire life is built on the fact that you've been allowed to live and work here freely. Then one day the government says, nope, you got to get the fuck on. Now what? Do you quit your job tomorrow? Does your employer let you go? Does your employer fire you? Can you still renew your work authorization? If ICE stops you, what happens? How much time do you actually have before you're expected to leave? Those are the questions people are trying to answer today. And here's something else people don't realize. Not everybody with TPS came here yesterday. They've been here for years. They built so many families. Some have families with children. Some people have had all of their children here. Think about that. You could have parents whose legal protection has ended. You could have been an adult born here, 18 or whatever, and then they're older, but they got TPS and then they got to go back to Haiti. Do you allow your parents to go back to Haiti in that unstable condition? Okay. Do you leave together? Do all of y'all leave together? Do you stay and fight the immigration case? Do you separate? Those are the heartbreaking questions and decisions that people got to make today. I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, well, they knew it was temporary. That's true. TPS literally has the word temporary in its name. But here's the other side of the argument. When the government keeps renewing a temporary program year after year, people naturally build their lives around it, right? People buy homes, start businesses, promotions, all that stuff. Life keeps on moving. Life keeps on moving. And now for many of these families, life has been turned upside down in a single day. Let's listen to this. Let me turn it on.
50,000 Haitians living in the United States are losing their legal status. The Supreme Court ruled in June that the Trump administration could end temporary protected status for people who had been allowed to live and work in the U.S. because of conditions in their home countries. That means the government can now deport Haitians who escape natural disasters and gang violence at home. Haitian migrants who've been here for years are bracing for upheaval. So are employers in nursing homes and home health care, where Haitians make up a significant portion of the workforce. Rebecca Shee is CEO of the American Business Immigration Coalition, and she joins us now. Rebecca, welcome.
Thank you.
So, what are you hearing from the businesses you represent? Are they expecting disruptions to start today?
Mm.
Yes, this will exacerbate the caregiver shortage, stripping legal work permits from experienced Haitian healthcare workers and aides, eliminate thousands of these essential workers
Right.
from our long term care sector, which is already short millions of caregivers.
Now, the Trump administration has argued that one reason it wants to get rid of TPS is because it wants Americans to fill those jobs that have been filled by immigrants until now. But explain to us, if workers who had TPS status lose their authorization today, what does this mean for employers? Should they
Mhm.
just immediately hire Americans? Are they breaking the law by keeping Haitians employed? What position does this put them in?
Mm.
Well, first of all, 9 out of 10 US nursing homes have reported operating below staffing levels. And the average nursing home facility have run a 25% daily staffing deficit.
Mm.
So even before the Supreme Court decision that will eliminate 350,000 workers, there just wasn't a line of native born Americans waiting to do this work. And
Mm. Hopefully you heard that. There's not a lot of people waiting to do that work. Part of the reason why they want to put people out of the country is because you think that Americans are going to take those jobs. Americans already have their jobs. Americans can find jobs in nursing homes and restaurants and wherever you think these people, these immigrants have jobs. They can find jobs wherever. If nobody wants to wipe ass, nobody's gonna wipe ass, no matter whether you get rid of the people or not. The only way somebody will wipe ass if the Americans won't take it is if they have to raise the wages for somebody to work in a nursing home or whatever. I'm not really sure where there's a big concentration of people, Haitian people working at, but I don't know whether people would take those jobs regardless of whether they're empty or not. That you're not helping the American economy by firing all the people that'll do jobs that people don't want to do. That don't even make sense. Now, here's why I think every American should pay attention to the story, even if don't know a single Haitian person, because Haiti is not the only country that has the TPS. There are people from Venezuela, Honduras, Nicaragua, Nepal, Cameroon, Afghanistan, uh, Arabian countries, some of the Arabian countries or Middle Eastern countries. There are people from several other countries who also depend on TPS. Some have already lost it. Others lost their TPS. Others are in the middle of legal battles over whether they'll lose theirs next. Haiti is just the latest one that happened yesterday. Yesterday's decision is not just about Haiti. It's about what the federal government is saying TPS is supposed to be from this point forward. The message is pretty clear. If your ability to stay in the United States depends on TPS, don't assume that protection is going to last forever. Now, here's the question I keep coming back to. If the government knows a temporary program can last 10, 15, even 20 years, should Congress have created another option for people who have been living here legally all this time? What do they do with the people that had kids here? Because let's be honest, this isn't something that happened overnight, right? Republican presidents renewed TPS, Democrat presidents renewed TPS. Congress watched year after year after year as these temporary programs kept getting extended. Everybody knew people were building their lives here, having children here, kids are growing up here. Employers knew they were hiring these workers. And Congress never came together to answer the obvious question. What happens when when the temporary status stops being temporary. All of these people's their statuses are getting kicked down, are getting killed. It's ending. Instead, they kick the can down the road, extension after extension after extension, administration after administration. It's not just the Trump administration. Trump administration just happened to be the one that ended the TPS, but it's been kicked down the road for decades. Okay, so eventually they said no more, and here we are with them saying no more. That day has arrived for Haitians. Okay, there's a lot of legal battles going on, a lot of legal finagling with these other statuses, Somalia people, Ukrainian people. I mean, I don't know whether it's Ukrainian, but Somalian people. It's a whole bunch of statuses, TPS statuses, but those are going to end very soon. Now, the country is going to see what happens when a TPS immigration program finally reaches its end. And I don't think this is the last chapter. I don't think these are the last people. I think this is the beginning of a much bigger immigration debate that's going to affect far more than if the Trump administration is an ending TPS, so they think that people are going to get into those jobs, they going to be messed up in the game. Because if they wasn't in those jobs before those people left, the people ain't going to get in those jobs after they leave. Okay? Congress has avoided this for years. Okay? Because this didn't happen overnight. It wasn't a surprise. It shouldn't have been a surprise. Everybody knew this day was going to come. Everybody knew the days for TPS was going to come. Why did Congress wait until the clock ran out? If you believe these families should have had a chance to stay permanently, why didn't Congress pass a few laws a couple of years ago? If you believe TPS was being abused by some kind of permanent immigration policy, why didn't Congress fix the laws years ago? Instead, what happened? Every few years, another extension, another renewal, another administration, another promise for these people to stay. Well, later is here. So the Trump administration has put that in place. So today, those decisions or the lack of those decisions landed on the shoulders of ordinary people, not on members of Congress, not on political commentary, not on people arguing on social media, on families, moms and dads, and trying to figure out what today look like. And that's why I think Americans need to stop treating immigration like it's only about who's compassionate and who's tough. A country has every right to enforce its immigration laws. I get that. That's part of being a sovereign nation. At the same time, when the government allows people to live and work here freely, legally for years and years under a program it created, it shouldn't surprise anybody that people build lives around that opportunity. Those two realities can exist at the same time. You can believe the law should be enforced, and you can also believe that we should do something about these people who have built lives here. Both of those things can be the same. I believe, yes, you can defend your country and your borders and all that. But you also said these people could stay. So now you have to deal with these people and the repercussions of letting them stay years after years after years. You don't get to just throw people out. These people have lives. They have children. They've built families, all kinds of things here. Okay? It wasn't just an end. Today wasn't just an end for the Haitians. It was an end for a couple of these countries. It was a reminder of what happens when elected officials avoid making these hard decisions. Eventually, the deadline arrives, and eventually somebody has to make that call. And eventually, real people, not politicians, are the ones who live with the consequences. That's why I don't think this conversation is going to end with Haiti. You still got other countries. This is where Congress is finally, willing to do their job or not. They have put it off too long. Okay? These are a couple questions that need answers. Because no matter where you stand on immigration, these are the questions that don't disappear just because TPS ended. First, how many of these people are actually going to leave? How many? Are we talking about a few thousand, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands? Does the federal government have the resources to remove all these people? Or will these people remain here while their cases work through this immigration courts for months or even years? Second, what happens to the American economy? These aren't just names on a governmental list. These are working people, construction, hotel, restaurant, nursing home, factories, landscaping, childcare, agriculture. If a large number of workers disappear, who fills those jobs? Are employees prepared for the loss of all of these people? Specifically, as y'all seen in the map, as y'all seen on this map, hold on. As you seen on this map, right? Let me put that up. Put that up. Y'all see on this map, the most of the people are in Florida, Haitian, Florida and New York. That's where the bulk of those people are. Who gonna take those jobs if you snatch up all them damn people? If all them people decide they're gonna go back to Haiti, who gonna do them jobs? Ain't nobody gonna be rushing down to Florida trying to do wipe no ass. There's a lot of problems with you just going down to Florida and ICE going on to Florida and start kicking people out. That's not how that's gonna work. Okay. Are the employees prepared to lose all of their workers, lose all of those people? So what happens to the kids too? Some of these families have children who are American citizens. Those people didn't apply for TPS. They didn't make immigration decisions. They're not caught in the middle of decisions made by adults. Wrong decisions made by American Congress. They just came over here to live, to function, to do whatever they had to do because their country was so fucked up. Now those kids are caught in the middle of that. Do they leave the only country they've ever known? Do they stay behind with relatives? Those are real questions, not political slogans. And finally, you have to figure this shit out. What happens next? Because Haiti is not the only country that has depended on TPS. If the administration is serious about ending TPS, whether it believes the law allows it or not, then today's story may not be the last one. Of course, it's not going to be the last one. You have all of these other countries, Venezuela, Nepal, Iran, all of those countries. More families will find themselves asking the same questions Haitians are asking tonight or last night. So whether you believe tonight's decision is the right one or not, you have to understand this. This is not the end of the immigration battle. This is the beginning of a new chapter in this country. The legal battles will continue. The political arguments will continue. See, this is what people don't get. People seem to not understand. We understand, us Democrats, we understand that our country or our immigration policy needs to be enforced. We get all that. We just don't like the way that you feel as though you need to enforce it by killing people, hurting people, maiming people, raping people, doing all of these things. These are the things we object to. We don't object to enforcing the immigration. We object to the way that you're doing it. Okay? Please understand that. I get a lot of people in my comment section that say goofy shit. We object to the way that you handle it. Skating due process. All of these things that you handle, the way you handle it. That's the problem that most liberals or Democrats have. How it's being handled. Not that it's being done, how it's being done. Okay? So today I'm talking about Haiti. Tomorrow could be another country. And the questions we're asking won't go away just because the cameras are done. You have to take into consideration that these are real people, real families, real lives that happen to these people because of the decisions that have been made for decades. Don't get mad at the people that did it decades ago. I'm not mad at Donald Trump for it. I have a problem with the way he has let these people administer that policy, as though these people had committed a grave default, a grave crime. That's not a crime. It's an infraction. It's a civil infraction. That's not a crime, a criminal matter in which you're supposed to keep people in tents and cages and detention facilities. That's not how they get. Immediately, as soon as they're captured and gotten, then they should be out the country pronto, not within 6 months or 10 months or holding them for years and years. They don't deserve that. Okay. And they have to have an opportunity in order to become a citizen if they're somewhere near becoming a citizen. Why not? You know what? All of this can be solved if you decided that we could allow people to have amnesty, or immigration bill. Any of these things could have happened. What the hell? Any of these things could have been allowed, but yet and still, you decide that you want to put people out. Okay, you put people out when you didn't need to put people out. You could have did a humane immigration policy, but they chose to kick people out. So Haiti just happens to be the latest one that gets kicked out the door. Haiti just happens to be the latest one. And as you can see, Florida and New York have the most Haitian groups of people. Let me play the rest of this.
And so this decision is going to just exacerbate this shortage. So starting today, unless there is another guidance from the Department of Homeland Security or the courts, nursing homes, long-term care homes, hospitals will be forced to lay off workers who were previously under the temporary protected status.
Now, there are three states, Florida, Massachusetts, and New York, that have the largest populations of Haitian workers who had TPS status.
Right.
What kind of an impact do you expect in those states in particular?
It's going to be monumental. About 30% of Haitians on TPS are either licensed practical nurses or registered nurses, nursing aides. So, in these three states, in particular, with a high senior resident population, the impact is going to be severe.
Let's talk about the effect on the immigrants themselves. Many of these Haitian folks have lived here for many years or decades. They have children born here, they own homes.
Now, you notice that they said these people are nurses, nursing licenses. They're going to impact Florida tremendously because they have an aging population. Tremendously. This is going to be devastating. Listen.
Homes. Talk about the ripple effect that mass deportations could have on these communities.
Many of these Haitian immigrants have been here for 10, 15, even 20 years, and they have built lives, communities with children, spouses who are American citizens. And we have seen recently, even from the Republican governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, who has said repeatedly, look, in our particularly smaller rural areas where we're seeing depopulation, the Haitian community has been integral to revitalizing our communities. Mm-hmm. And so these impact and ripple effect go way beyond just the immigrants themselves.
All right. What are the U.S. employers who rely on workers with TPS status advocating for here? Are your members going to Congress and pressing them to make pathways for citizenship or some way for Haitians to transfer their legal status in order to stay here?
Absolutely. For people that have been here contributing, demonstrated both their desire and skill to add value to the lives of Americans and our American cities, they deserve a path to stability and legalization. And so our employers, we represent 1,700 CEOs across the country with many senior homes and elder care homes, are on the Hill, and also with the administration directly to say, hey, we can do both. We can secure the border. We can make sure that people who actually pose a danger should be removed. But at the same time, people that are here doing difficult, skilled work, they should have a legal path.
What are
Right. So those people, I feel, should have a legal path. If you're being productive, you're contributing, you should have a legal path to citizenship. You're a nurse. You're a doctor. There's nurses. There's doctors. Haitians. There's somebody said in the chat that there's Syrians. Syrians. Theirs ended in the middle of this month. What do those people do? They've had lives, built families, own hospitals. Own homes, own cars, all kinds of things, and now they all got to get out. There should be a humane policy for these people to become citizens. Okay, and that's the thing. You should have we are in an industrialized country. We should have some kind of pathway to citizenship for the people that are here. If you know that they've done what they needed to do and they contributed, they need to have a pathway. These people are doctors, lawyers, they're all types of area. But then the whole thinking was if they throw all of these immigrants out, then us Americans who don't have jobs are going to take those jobs. That's not how that works. They're not taking American jobs. They're not doing that. These are jobs, some of these jobs Americans can't do, don't want to do. So you can't just deport all of the CNAs and expect people to take the CNA jobs. I would never do a CNA. I don't care how you slice it. I'd be on the system somehow, but I would never take a job as a CNA or a nurse or anything to do with the medical field. See, that's the thing. That is the fallacy. How are you going to replace these jobs if you get rid of these people? Okay, and you gave them the temporary status. So there's a lot of people fighting this temporary status. The temporary status was ended for the Haitians last night at midnight. So a lot of them are scrambling around today trying to figure out what they're going to do. And the biggest population is in New York, and the biggest population is in Florida. So the ICE is probably going to start concentrating all of their efforts in the Florida area. I have no idea how they do it, but I know it's going to be a long time coming before somebody gets some kind of humane immigration policy. Hopefully, the next Democratic president can get a humane immigration policy so we can figure out what we can do with these people who are here and who want to partake of the country. So I'm all for some kind of legal status, all for some kind of immigration bill, and hopefully we can get an immigration bill across the president's desk. Because this is like really, now this deporting people, now you've really become dumb with this deportation. You've really become very much against what the American people want with this inhumane immigration policy. So hopefully somebody can do something. Well, I mean, they're gonna have a stop. They're gonna have a brakes on them now. They're gonna have some brakes on them now come November. If Democrats win the House and Democrats win the Senate, they're gonna have brakes on the things that they're doing now, because the Republican Party is doing a lot of things that the American people don't want. But it is what it is. So last night, TPS ended for Haiti. Somewhere in the middle of July, it ended for the Iranians, or was it Iran, or who was it? Who's Syrians, and some other ones are going to start to end. Okay, they don't care whether your country is a hellhole or hellscape. They don't care. They're just ending the TPS status for the Haitians, and it is what it is, right? And I'm hoping that somebody comes up with some kind of understanding or help for the Haitis, but they've been fighting in court. So now the rest of these people who have TPS are fighting in court. And it's plenty of countries. I'm sure it's plenty of countries that they're trying to get rid of. Somalia is one of them. I know that. I want to say Ukraine. I want to say Cameroon. I want to say Nepal. I want to say Afghanistan. Just a lot of people that are going to be out and about. So nobody wants them here. Everybody wants them here. Just you inconsiderate people don't want them here. The regular people, anybody else, half of y'all don't even know no immigrants. That's the goofy part about it. You don't know anything about immigrants. Immigrants don't make or break you. Don't make or break nothing to do with you. They still run like they run. They have lives. They work. They pay taxes. They do the same thing you do, and you wouldn't know one from the other if they didn't have an accent. That's the bad part about it. You wouldn't know one from the other. Stop listening to propaganda. Y'all listen to a lot of propaganda about them not being able to contribute to this country. They contribute to the country just like everybody else who contributes to the country. It's a net positive to have immigrants here. You need to read some. You need to read some literature on that. They're net positive to be in this country. Okay, and everybody can say, "Oh, we want to get rid of immigrants." They're net positive for the country. Just have to look things through, look things up, and stop spouting talking points. Because that's how we got where we are now. People demonizing the other people. People demonizing immigrants, people demonizing people for color, people demonizing people because who started the phrase immigrants are taking all our jobs? You motherfuckers don't want to do them jobs that a lot of them immigrants do. So how is it that they taking your jobs and we know you don't want to do them jobs? That don't make sense. So when I hear people say, well, we don't want them to take our jobs and blah, 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 taking up resources, they're giving more resources than they're taking. Y'all got to read. Y'all got to start reading. I swear to God. Y'all got to start reading because some of y'all sound really goofy when y'all talk about this kind of stuff. You sound really goofy. They're not taking American jobs. Not like that. These are jobs that Americans don't want. These are not good jobs. These are not good jobs, Black America, and Black people ain't going to do them. That's goofy logic. I swear to God, y'all got to read more. Y'all got to read more. You got to read more. Because these not necessarily that they have bad jobs. I'm saying you can't get rid of 10 people who have shitty jobs and then turn around and expect other people to take the shitty jobs. Otherwise, the other people would have took the shitty jobs before. That's wild. But anyway, let me read the comment section. That's wild. That's wild. Didn't Haitians speak against Black Americans having reparations? I have no idea. Don't. Who cares? Black Americans aren't getting reparations. You got to learn how to count the votes. If they're not giving you reparations, you're not getting reparations. Would love to have reparations, but I don't think that's going to happen. So people can shout to the rooftops all day. You got to get Congress to give you reparations. And Congress ain't trying to give nobody no money, period, point blank. It ain't going to happen. Syrians ended on July 17th. Yeah, their TPS status ended then. T is for temporary. Also, if you have TPS, you can adjust your status. Yes, hopefully they can adjust their status, but a lot of them probably can't. Okay, it's not my problem. You go and take, you go and take care of my family, so get out, all of you. Boy, some of y'all wild. Good morning, Black America. I hear you. It's too late. Put them out. Okay, I hear you. Go home and be a nurse. So what? Get out, period. It's not a responsibility. No, it's not. But our country is made up of immigrants, okay? Can't just tell people to get out when you gave them temporary status and they've been here all this time. I have granddaughters and daughters. Nursing pays over $100,000. I would love for one of them to become a nurse. What does that have to do with the Haitians or the people who are nurses and CNAs? Okay. Those jobs are good jobs for American Black people. No, don't try to put it in. Don't just try to put that on us, Black America. It's not us that has anything to do with the immigration. We don't have anything to do with immigration. Don't put that on us. You're making it sound like they're taking our job. They're not taking our jobs. AQ, do you know which jobs that they mainly do? What job, career? Nursing. A lot of the women are nurses down in Miami. CNAs down in Miami. Don't put that on us. If the people wanted to be a nurse, they would be a nurse. But that's not Haitians being nurses and taking nursing jobs, and CNAs don't block people from getting those type of jobs. That's not how that works. Okay? That's definitely not how that works. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So we just got to be, hopefully they turn it around somehow, some way. And, because some of these people deserve to stay because they're contributing to the United States and they're contributing to the economy. And we need to figure out a way to make sure that they can stay. So I don't know how, when, or where, but these people have been here long enough. They have children here. They have family. They have cars. They have homes. And they deserve to be considered when it comes to their TPS being. And on top of the fact that Haiti is a hellhole, a hellscape, a whole nother level of hell for people who live in Haiti. Ain't no way I'd take my kids back to Haiti. I don't care what you say. I'd immigrate to another country. I'd do something, but I definitely wouldn't go back there. But then that's just me. I don't know. But please hit the like and subscribe button if you like the content. I will be back later on, maybe this evening, maybe tomorrow morning. Who knows? I'm in the process of doing some business, and I'll be scattery and shaky on here, but hopefully I'll have another video for you soon enough. I appreciate you guys showing up. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Black America. I appreciate you guys. I do.